This is the first video in the series Overcoming Fear. This is the introduction to our small group and also a video series that we're putting up online for Free Spirit. So whether you're seeing this by yourself or with a group of people, welcome. So we're going to be talking about fear and how to overcome it in the next few weeks. And that means we have to begin with a description of the problem. Meaning today, in this first video, we're going to be talking about fear. Now, fear, all by itself, isn't necessarily a problem. Fear is one of the core emotions we have, and it has an important purpose. Fear is meant to keep us alive. The feeling of fear tells us that we're in danger, and it gives us a boost to help us get out. If you're faced with a threat, like, say you're walking down the sidewalk and a tiger jumps out at you, fear provides a boost. It's called the fight, flight, freeze reflex. Before you can think, your body prepares to fight back to stop the tiger, or run as fast as possible away from the tiger, or just shut down so the tiger goes away. If the fear does its job and the tiger doesn't eat you, the fear fades away. Fear helps you survive in another way. See, the next time you see a tiger, you'll have that same boost of energy before the tiger actually leaps out at you, so you'll have more of a head start. Fear is the most basic way that we connect our past, our present, and our future. When something happens that puts us in danger, we'll experience fear the next time we encounter it, like a warning. Hey, this is dangerous! That warning and the boost that fear gives us help us stay safe and alive. Now, if fear were always that straightforward, it wouldn't cause us much trouble, but it isn't. See, the root of the problem lies in one of our most incredible human abilities. We humans have the amazing capacity to imagine. We can picture things that haven't happened in our mind so vividly that we have feelings about them as if they were real. In many ways, that vivid imagination helps us. We can imagine future events that will make us feel good or bad in a chain of cause and effect, and that helps us make plans to avoid things that are bad and to get things that are good. And that's helpful because it means that if we walk down the sidewalk where the tiger was, we can imagine what would happen if we get closer. So even when we don't see the tiger, we turn around and go a different route. Unfortunately, that's not the end of the story. We can imagine so many things. We can imagine that tiger leaving its home in the night, sneaking into our warm bedroom and eating us while we sleep. And with something like that, a fear that's only in our minds, no matter what we do, no matter how we plan, we can't get away from the fear that comes with it. We are literally not built to handle that. Fear is supposed to last for a minute. But fears of events that are far in the future put us in that state of fear for a long time. We're not made to live in constant fear, and so we have to do something. And this problem of fear that doesn't go away, this is a problem that faces everyone, not just people who actively or outwardly seem anxious or worried most of the time. There are people who are consciously afraid of the future a lot of the time. But even people who don't spend a lot of time consciously worrying are aware that the future can bring threats. So even if you're the kind of person who doesn't think about it much, fear of the future definitely shapes you and your life. So as we go through this, we're going to have a little chart. It's going to walk us through the steps of fear and the steps that overcome fear. And in this first box, we're putting fear. This is a starting point. This is a problem that we're trying to avoid at the beginning. The thing is, if we're stuck in fear, it's very difficult to get out of it. Because that fear that exists only in our minds feeds on itself, and it keeps itself strong. When we're afraid, that fear is telling us that we're in danger and reminding us about all the bad things that could happen if we take a chance, if we do something differently. It pushes us to stay the same. And now this is where our modern understanding of psychology and the ancient spiritual teachings written down in the Bible come together. One of the most important recent discoveries of psychology is that living in fear leads to a whole lot of different kinds of harmful behavior. People who've been through a terrible experience, a trauma, are more likely to act in ways that are harmful to themselves and other people. But not certain. We know that people can overcome fear, that people who go through even terrible things can come through them and let go of that fear. So, this is what we're going to ask next time. We know that fear is a trap, but how are we going to overcome it? As part of that process, at the end of every video, we're going to have a question which you can discuss with other people or just answer for yourself. And sometimes we're going to have an experiment, something to actually try. But for this one, I'd like you to name something you hope will happen to you in the future and something you fear will happen to you in the future. It can be as simple as a word, or if you want to go into it a little deeper, feel free. So try that out, and I'll look forward to seeing you next time.